Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady checking in with another edition of my late October weekly garden tour. Today I'm featuring the big native borders because let's face it, they look spectacular. I really think that muley grass is the most important plant that I could have ever included in these borders, and it's in its full glory right now with that late afternoon sun shining through. So without further ado, let me turn this camera around and give you an up-close view. I don't think there is a more beautiful grass in the world than the pink and the white Muhlenbergia. That border just looks so incredible, and it's all because of the white cloud and of course the Rudbeckia that has great structural integrity and these nice contrasting seed heads. Even the Carex understory really provides a nice essence, even though it's very dry and it's definitely starting to kind of show the signs of extreme drought. The great thing about this time of year is that you sort of expect plants to look like that. The viburnum are really starting to get some nice color, and I am really impressed with this one section of Rudbeckia subtomentosa that has just continuously flowered for weeks and weeks. I love this view so much, and my friends who stayed here in the Airbnb this week just could not get enough of looking out those bedroom windows out to these borders, particularly in the morning when the sun is in the eastern sky and these are backlit from that view. Now, most of the asters have kind of finished, probably a bit earlier than they would have if we had had any moisture. I have not run irrigation here at all, but that's kind of the goal. Like in June, I was watering a lot because we're not usually dry in June, but this is not abnormal for us to be dry in October, and I don't want to give these native plants a false sense of reality, so I'm just kind of letting it go this season. Everything is going to go dormant soon anyway with frost. Over here in the east meets west border. So the live oak is beautifully lit right now, but here in front of it is another great tea olive, not a native. This is a hybrid called UNC. This was actually bred by my former boss at Camellia Forest, Dr. Clifford Parks. You can see those little white flowers, and this is half fragrance, half heterophilous. And it has a wonderful scent. It's another great evergreen for screening and very drought tolerant because this does not get much water at all. You can really see that the mums sort of creeping as the ground cover, doing really well on this side, and of course the pink and white muley here. And this is the time of year where I really appreciate forsythia. I really like the dark purple coloration that it gets from the cooler nights. And of course, forsythia is deciduous, but here in North Carolina, it doesn't go completely bare. I really like that nice dark purple contrast. And the pycnanthemum, you can see how dry it is. Even the pycnanthemum is wilting. Look at that. But, well, we'll see. I don't think there's any rain in the forecast. So, well, we'll see. I don't really believe in irrigating at this time of year, and I think pycnanthemum can take it, but that is kind of a tell sign of just how dry we are. You know, another plant that's known for being super drought tolerant is Verbena bonariensis, and even that has wilty leaves on it. So, wow, wowzers. Interesting here to see Spirea alba is putting up some blooms despite the extreme dry. Beautiful. I really love these native spireas, all of which I bought from Carolina Native Nursery. They have started doing volunteer days, so if you follow them online, you have any interest in going and helping them out, they're going to continue to do volunteer work days as they try and rebuild the nursery. I'm aiming to get up there in early December to help out. So always a great contribution. They're such an important supplier of native plant material for this region. They lost 90% of their inventory from flooding from Hurricane Helene. And as we walk our way around, again, the pink muley is just spectacular. I'm very excited to get to use that in arrangements for the wedding next week. And obviously have not collected any seed since last week, but it's still here. And if I don't collect it, it's all going to drop and I'm going to have a billion Vernonia seeding in this border. These ilex look awesome. Everything is wilted. Wow. Everything is wilted. I haven't been paying like up close attention and I'm a little disturbed by how dry these borders are. But the pink and white muley grass is not showing any signs of stress. And this is one of my favorite views of the front garden here. And I lower that, you don't see the houses. You get the nice borrowed view from the backdrop of trees. You have that continuous look from the white cloud muley. Almost seems like I did it on purpose. Again, the white muley grass is just amazing. I really like the structure of this Solidega rugosa. And, you know, it'll be really interesting to see how this bed in particular evolves because a lot of the original things that I put in are not here anymore. And I have a feeling, I know I've said this in past tours, like that Solidago and probably the different varieties or different species of Pycnanthemum will take over. It's nice to see the Echinacea are just self-sowing and then those new seedlings are blooming much later. So it's great to have those in flower. You know, even more over here. I did cut back all the Boltonia. That was really not a good decision to plant it here because it flops over and just like comes out over the concrete. But maybe I'll have Aiden start dividing that out at some point this winter. Just to give you a different view of this pollinator pocket bed. It really does look terrific. And I think that it will be a beautiful backdrop for the wedding next weekend. And as I've mentioned, I am quite excited to get the fern bed planted. It's my goal to have that accomplished next Friday when I'm home. So I do look forward to sharing more updates with all of you as I start to really make progress on building gardens here in the backyard of the Carolina Garden House. Sky's the limit for what can be accomplished, and up until now I haven't really allowed myself to think too much about what I'm gonna do. So now that the concrete is in, I'm kind of letting my imagination run and I'm getting very excited. Fingers crossed we get some rain at some point because it really is too dry to plant. I don't think I've really ever said that in autumn, although we were very dry last year as well. And maybe this is just an unfortunate trend of being alive and gardening in this era, which isn't great. But I am going to get these planted because keeping them watered in pots is more challenging than keeping them watered in the ground. But I'm not going to buy any more plants. And really, that's my recommendation to all of you. Until we get cooler and start getting some moisture, I would hold off on any major fall planting. You know, we in the horticulture industry try and simplify things, and we're always like, fall is for planting. Only when it's a wet fall is it appropriate for planting, because you are setting yourself up to fail when the ground is this dry. So hope that tidbit of information will be useful for all of you. And I look forward to catching back up once I get back home from my big trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, as always, thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening, everybody.